up, y'all? It's your girl Shay Renee, and tonight we will be talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 14, episode 12. And can I tell y'all something? Marlo, I still don't feel sorry for you and them little wasted fake tears that you did in that doctor's office. You could can it. Let's get into it, shall we? All right, y'all. So the episode starts off with Sheree talking to her son Cairo about Sheba should never happening. Okay. And she says that she wants him to model some joggers for her because now she's thinking up a men's line for her invisible product line. Listen, Sheree, please come out with a product because now it's just getting embarrassing. It's becoming extremely embarrassing. um yeah, you're wasting our time. And I know you're wasting your family and your kids' time, everybody that's close to you that's listening to this foolery of this imaginary business that you had. Candy said it best. You have the most well known non business that's out here. We're going to talk about it as we go along, but Sheree, get some products, sell them, get it done. Moving on. Candy's having a small party for her son Ace's 6th birthday. So she has Kenya comes over, Drew comes over, and they bring their kids, and she has like a gaming truck for them. And little Ace is so cute. She has everybody in the room, and then Ace comes in. She says, "Come on in, Ace." So Ace comes in. He's like, "Oh, it's my birthday." And I'm like, "Oh, he is just so cute." I just love seeing him because Ace is 6 and my son is 6. I think Ace's birthday is in April or something like it's earlier in the year, and then my son's birthday is in June. So if they recorded this last year, Ace is probably 7 by now. But anyway, he is so cute, and I just love it. And then I just love seeing Blaze playing with Kenya's daughter. I just think they are just so adorable and so cute. So everybody sits down, and then Kenya asks about the security situation at the house. And so Candy is like, "Yeah, well, now we have like a police officer that's going to be kind of like riding around the neighborhood for them in the meantime." And Drew says, "Well, we have a gate and we have like an armed security guard that rides around our neighborhood every day and sits at the gate. Like, you can't just come into our community." And I think somebody else said, Kenya said the same thing. So Candy, you might need to get them to spruce up the security over there, because if these homes are as expensive as it looks like they are, they need to get it together with the protection. But moving on. Then Candy goes into talking about her play that was going on in New York called For Colored Men, and apparently the play had to be shut down because of the C-19. So there was the second wave of it, if you will. So a lot of people on the cast that came in contact with it, so they had to completely shut it down. And because of the financial hardship that it produced, they couldn't pick it back up, and it just got shut down. So Candy is feeling really bad because she's like, I just really want to make other people successful. And when things don't go right because of her level of success, it's like she always gets blamed for it. But she really just wants to be a pillar of positivity in the community, and this was an avenue for her to do that. And she just feels really let down, and she feels like she failed a lot of people. And I love how Candy is just so for the community, and she's just really always trying to pull. She's a perfect example of dismissing that whole crabs in a barrel mentality. Like, she always looks to pull people up. She shares information freely, and she's not one of those people who will pay for this class so I can teach you how to do this. Like, she is just overall, I just get genuine energy from Candy. Okay. So then Drew says, she's limiting her liquor intake from the whole situation from the trip in, I forgot what part of daggone Georgia they was in, but Marlo's trip. So she's limiting her alcohol because of how she was acting on the trip. And they talk about Drew and her bones and how Marlo has a hard on for Kenya and always coming after her. So they show in a adjacent scene that Sheree meets up with Marlo at La Archive or whatever her damn store is called, and she suggests. So Marlo's walking around suggesting all these things for Sheree. And Marlo, she suggested a Louis Vuitton bag, and then she suggested a bathing suit. Now the bathing suit was $225 a day to wear. But let's go to the fact that it's a bathing suit. I'm not about to put my coochie crack on no bathing suit that somebody else. This is used clothes, you see. This ain't no new bathing suit. That's what you call unsanitary, honey. I don't care how many times you ran that through the wash and put it in the cleaners. I will not be sharing a cooch space with nobody else. I don't care if it's $225. I don't care if it's $2,500. I will get a brand new bathing suit. Let's make that very clear, okay? And how much is this bathing suit if you renting it for $225? This is just ludicrous. Moving on. So Marlo talks about the boys and their behavior at her sister's house. She said Michael told her about William just not brushing his teeth. He's not cleaning up. He's playing Roblox all day, and he's not showering, and he's just not taking care of himself. And you know what, Marlo? For you to be putting this all over TV that the boys are going through all of this stuff, it just further makes me not like you. Because do you understand that this could be a result of depression from the kids? Like they're probably feeling like you were you yourself said that you were the person in the session with the counselor. You said that you were the first person that they called when they had to be picked up and they were being taken away from their mother. So for you to be the first person they called that was so-called rescued them, and for them to have security with you for 3 years, and they finally thought that they found a place to call home and some consistency, and then you do the self same thing and throw them away. It's just really messed up, and they are probably going through something because every day they're thinking like, wow, what did I do to get thrown out? And then you send them over there to your sister that already has 4 children. So just imagine their living conditions over there. They go from living in your house, having their room where it's just 2 of them sharing a room, wearing designer clothing, getting, attention from you. And now they're over there having to split their attention with an aunt that is working a 9-to-5 job. She looks like she's a nurse, or somebody says she's a dental assistant or whatever. So she's working long hours, and then they have to split her time with 4 other children. And who knows if she's married or has a spouse that's helping her. So now she has to split her time between 6 children. That could produce depression in a kid. Like they're looking at all of this, and now he's just trying to find something to comfort him. And then for you to embarrass him on national TV talking about he don't shower and he don't brush his teeth, that's just really messed up. And these kids, I know you know that their parents, their moms are probably watching this show, and they probably have friends that are going to school with them, and their mothers, you never know if their mothers are watching the show and then they see you and then see them in the background, and they go on to school saying, oh, you ain't brushed your teeth this morning, did you? You ain't take a shower, did you? And it's like this whole using these boys for a storyline thing has just gone extremely too far. But anyway, moving on, because that just really irritates me that she continues to embarrass these kids like this. So Sanya arrives, and Marlo has rum punches made for them. And Sanya says she wants everyone to bring someone on the Jamaica trip. So by saying she wants them to bring somebody, she doesn't mean like a spouse or anything like that. Like you can bring a friend, you can bring whoever. And so she calls Kenya to tell her that, she has to bring somebody with her, and that, she wants her to come over her house on Saturday as a prelude before they get on the plane to go to Jamaica. So as she's telling Kenya this, before she can even tell her that, she can bring whoever she wants, she says, and you have to bring somebody. And so Kenya says, whatever. And she hangs up the phone on her. Now, Kenya, I understand. It was a lot of bullshiggity going on with what Sanya. And I think that it was played up to look like she was trying to say that you needed to have a man come with you. And knowing that this girl is going through a divorce and all the things that her husband has put her through, you can't you got to really be delicate on how you serve this on a platter to somebody that's going through all these things. So Sanya, you dropped the ball on this, but Sanya is upset, as I would have been too, that Kenya hung up on her. So back to the scene with Candy and Kenya and Drew. Kenya shares with them that she, Drew saw Kenya hang up on Sanya. And Candy says, "Why are we forcing a couples trip? And Kenya is getting a divorce." And Marlo in the other scene says that Kenya is just mad because she ain't got nobody. First of all, Marlo, who do you have? I ain't seen you with a man, not never, since you've been on this show. Where is your man? And the two consistent men that you had in your life, you threw them out. So what type of shit are you on, sis? Like, you are so worried about who is between Kenya's legs and who everybody else on this cast is screwing and what they doing. And don't nobody know what the heck you doing and what you on. Child, I can't. So in the next scene, Marlo meets with the parenting coach and refers to, and so Sheree referred her to this coach because she wanted her to learn what to do with the boys and how to properly, deal with them and care for them. And Marlo reveals to the coach that she never wanted to be a mom because of how her mom was with her. And the coach says that, he's a Christian, so he wants to pray with her. So he prays with Marlo, and then Marlo begins to do the fake crocodile tears. She immediately erupts into emotions. And I'm like, girl, knock it off. You are not sad. Okay. I can't. I cannot with the fake crocodile tears, child. So she goes on to tell the coach about how she got the boys with them calling and basically requesting that she come and pick them up because of the circumstances that they were currently going through with their mom, and because the mom was going to jail, so they wanted her to come and get them. And she tells them how she kicked them out because they were taking everything for granted. And she says, she doesn't have any structure with them and it makes her feel bad. And she feels like they don't respect her. And she feels like they don't appreciate the things that she does for them. And the coach tells her she can be strong instead of yelling, because she said all she does is yell at them because that's all she knows. That's all her mom did when it came to her. But, it really bothers me when people say that, that's all I know. That's what I did. My parents did to me. And on one end, I can understand it. And on the other end, I don't. Because if my parents did something to me that I didn't necessarily like or appreciate, I'm sure enough not going to do the same thing to somebody else. Like, if I don't like that I'm being yelled at all the time, I'm not going to turn around and yell at nobody else and justify it because my parents did it to me. But I didn't like it when my parents did it to me. So why would I do it to somebody else? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And, but you know what? At least she's trying to get some help in reaching out to somebody about it, child. So the man says, the counselor says parenting isn't fun all the time. And because Marlo says that she just wanted to have a good time with them and they all be friends. And I'm like, that's the number one rule in parenting. You are not your kid's friend. Okay. So then he says she needs to be consistent in the message that she sends, because sending them away could also be a negative trigger for them. And then he says family meetings each week, a schedule, and quality time is something that's very important and key in building relationships with the kids. And she says, well, they have Taco Tuesday every Tuesday. And he says that she needs to give herself some credit because she's a good option for them. And she asks if she's wrong for kicking them out. And he says she isn't wrong, but you just don't want them to feel abandoned. And she just has to restore order. She asked if she could bring the boys with her next time. Now, to my understanding, I watched Candy speak on it from a couple of weeks ago. And she said that Marlo still doesn't have the kids. So I don't know when they filmed this show, but I can imagine it wasn't 30 days ago. So you haven't had them boys for over 30 days. Like, at this point, it's probably over 6 months. So what are you doing? You're doing all of this on TV for show, but you still don't have the boys. Like, Marlo is a piece of damn work. Let's get into these comments, y'all. Yes, Jessica's back. Jessica with a K. I was watching the clock for 7. Hey, what's up, Jessica? Jessica says, I can't believe Sheree is thinking about putting a VPL, like a visible pouch for the peen. If I saw a guy wearing those, I would think he's overcompensated. Girl, child, we're going to talk about that when we get to that scene. That is a bit, I got my opinions on that, okay? Jessica with the K says, if Marlo needed a break that badly, maybe she could have had someone come watch the boys at her house for a few days while she left. Yeah, like, get a babysitter. That's what parents do. People take breaks, but not for 30 days. Like, come on now. And if you love them that much and cared about them that much, I can't imagine being away from my son for 3 days versus 30 days. Like, I think about my son after 3 hours of dropping him off. I'm calling whoever, like, what are you doing? Did he eat yet? And I'm probably the most annoying person because people are like, why you want me to watch your kid and you're going to be checking on them the whole time? But, that's just what moms do. You love your kids. So I don't understand her logic, and I cannot make sense of it at all. So moving on, y'all. Candy and Todd, thank you so much for commenting, Jessica. So Candy and Todd talk with Riley and Kayla in the living room at their house. And Riley is a sophomore at NYU, and Kayla is working in TV production. So both of the girls are doing really well for themselves. And Todd they talk about their trust and how they have to get these things done, meaning trust funds for all of the kids and how they're going to distribute the money and whatnot as they grow up. So Todd discusses giving the money out in increments, like at different age levels, so that you don't bankrupt yourself getting such a large lump sum of money right away, because these kids are not that responsible. They have never been multimillionaires in their own right and handling that much money themselves. Riley's closeness to affluence and being rich is her mother just calling her and saying, hey mom, I want this, can you pay for it? You can't do that if your mother is not here, unfortunately. So I get it. Todd is basically saying that he wants to teach them how to be responsible. And Kayla chimes in and says, yeah, everything is a life lesson. And Riley says, well, listen, I'm gonna keep it real 100 with you. I don't trust that you gonna do right by me until you do right by me. I don't think she believes that Todd is gonna do right by her, because she's like, you're not as free with the money as my mama is. So yeah, I'm gonna need y'all to figure that out, because my apartment, you definitely wouldn't have paid for that. And Candy agrees. Candy is like, she actually is truthful and says, you know what, honestly, if I'm honest, I don't think that you would give Riley as much money as I give her, or you would do the things for her that I do for her. And, that worries me. And Todd gets upset. He's like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, y'all are so ungrateful. Like, it's just, it's the audacity for me. Like, he's just like, why would you think that I wouldn't do right by Riley? I will always take care of her and do what I need to do for her. However, I do think that there needs to be a level of responsibility established, and people need to work for things. And I agree with Todd. Like, I think that Candy just has given Riley things all her life. And I don't know if Riley knows how to be financially responsible or not, but Riley says she would want all her money up front, child. Because what if she want to start a business and she wants to go ahead and do what she need to do with the money and put up whatever she want to put up and not have to wait till she turned 25 to get the rest. So listen, I agree with the plan, because there's a lot of people that get a lump sum of money. They don't know what to do with it. And then they broke within a year or two. And then they looking back like, dang, I wish I hadn't screwed the pooch the way I did with all my damn money. But hey, whatever. They got to figure that out. So Todd decides to disengage, and he ends up walking out. And he's like, you know what? I'm done with y'all. Y'all are so disrespectful. And so Riley says she thinks his feelings are hurt, and Kayla agrees. So in the next scene, here we go. Sheree at the fabric store, child, playing business owner. So she goes in here and she's talking to these two women. It's a Black-owned business about fabrics for her joggers and for her fitness line. So they show her some different things, and they say that they're willing to share their resources with her because of the large amount of production that she's going to need, because they don't have, obviously, the amount of product that she's going to need. It looks like they make more intricate things, like they make maybe like an outfit or two or something small for people if they want to come in and have something specialty made, but not like an entire clothing line worth of fabric in the store for like one specific design. So they're talking about all of that. And then Sheree says she wants to have a VPL. And they looking at her like, yeah, I've been sewing for like a long time and I don't know what that is. Like the one lady was like, yeah, looking at her like, like she knew what it was. Then she admits it. She was like, I don't know what that is. So a VPL is a visual print line. Okay. Here's my thoughts on the visual print line of it all, child. If I'm a man, I ain't buying it. Because if I'm not well endowed, I don't want to tell the crowd. Okay? I'm going to keep my penis a secret. All right? And I ain't just talking about the deodorant. Ain't nobody trying to walk around giving everybody. Listen, gray sweatpants have gotten a great, they've gotten a great thing going. People love to look for that as their indication into somebody's size, if you will. However, if you are wearing pants to show somebody an evident look into your manhood, then that lets me know what you're looking for from me off the front, jump out the gate. You're not looking at what I mentally can stimulate you with. You're looking at how you can penetrate and stimulate me. So you trying to put it on display. No, ma'am, Pam. I will pass on the VPLs and I will not be buying any for my husband and he will not be buying any for himself because I don't need you showing everybody what it look like and what it be like. Okay. And a man that want to show somebody what it look like and what it be like, you know what he all about. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And Sheree, buy something, get some fabric and make something. Okay. Because we are tired of waiting on this line that ain't never going to be. Okay. Please make it happen. Because you got a lot of people, it's a lot of eyes on you right now. And if you don't get this done soon, it's over for you, sis. Moving on. Todd and Candy chat at the office and they discussed the whole situation that happened back at the house with the girls and the whole trust fund money situation. And he says it really hurt his feelings that Candy thought that he wouldn't do the right thing by Riley. Like, why would he think that? And Candy says, well, if I'm being honest, I don't think that you would provide for her in the same manner that I would. And he said, no, I'm telling you, I wouldn't because I think that you do too much. And I feel like people, they need to work for it and you don't make them work for it. And I would definitely do that. So in order to remedy all of this, you get your stuff together, get your paperwork together and you spell it out, roll it out, however you want to do it. And you do it on your own and I'll just do whatever you want me to do as according to the paperwork. And that's it. Okay. So then they go into talking about the play and she says that she's been really stressed out about the play because it ended and, she just really feels bad for all the people that are now out of a job. But then she said on the flip side, she got another opportunity to be an executive producer, to produce another play that's going on. And she just really doesn't know whether she wants to take it on because she doesn't want the same thing to happen because it's not like the whole C19 situation is totally over. So Todd says, do it. And the next opportunity after that, do that too. He's like, you can do this. If anything, it shows that you're consistent and persistent to be in this space. And that's very commendable. So do what you need to do. Whatever you do and whatever you put your hands on is going to be a success. You're going to do well. And basically he believes in her. And Candy right there said that, you know what? I know that I'm with the right person. We may not see eye to eye on a lot of things, but I know that he's my person. He's so supportive and we just fit. So I really love that. And so Candy goes and sits on his lap and he says, besides, that's less money that the kids could get. And I'm like, you know what? Ty, you's a shady little something. So moving on, Sanya has the ladies over to her house and her assistant Rakeem is helping her get all set up with everything. And everyone arrives and everyone brings a gift for Sheree except Drew. So here go Drew being her shady little self because she's still mad over what happened on the trip, on Marlo's trip with Fatum. So now she's going to take it out on Sheree. So I'm like, girl, did you not have enough aliases left to use their credit to buy Sheree a gift or what? Like you ain't had the money to get her something nice, or you just trying to say that you being, or you just being cheap. That's basically what it is. Like, girl, bye. So she says she's just there to support. She's not getting her a gift because of what happened on the trip. So Kenya comes in and Sanya gives her a tour of her house, and Kenya gives her some advice because Kenya is all into home decor and whatnot. So she walks around pretty much telling her how much she hates everything in her house, and she need to switch this, she need to do this and do that, and get rid of that fake ass plant and all of that. So they go into Sanya's bed. Looks like they're in Sanya's bedroom, and Sanya addresses Kenya basically hanging up on sis. Okay, so Kenya hanging up on Sanya. So she was like, why'd you hang up on me? And Kenya was like, because I'm just so tired of people treating me bad. I've allowed people to come into my life and they weren't who they said they were, and they've just done me so wrong, and I'm just tired of accepting it. So I'm at a point in my life where I'm not accepting no BS from nobody. I used to accept it from my husband and he treated me horribly. I'm not going to allow anybody for that matter to do that. She was like, that is just toxic behavior. She was like, that's why I don't tolerate it from Marlo. So I'm just at a point where I ain't dealing with nobody's BS, period. So no disrespect to you, but if you dish it, you gonna get it. And so Sanya says, I respect that, and I definitely wouldn't want to be in the same category as your husband, because I would never want to make you feel like that's what I'm trying to do. And she said, what I was trying to say before you hung up on me is that you can bring whoever you want. So it doesn't have to be a male counterpart. It could be a friend. It could be whoever. Like, you can bring whoever you want. And so Kenya says, okay, well, I appreciate that. So Sheree finally arrives. Everybody comes down to the door to greet her, and Sanya has a photo booth there and everything, and she has these patties. She has some caterer come and do all this stuff, but apparently the patties was dry and they weren't giving what they needed to give. And the damn photo booth thing, the thing that's spins around you while you trying to take a picture, it wasn't even charged up. I'm like, well, what kind of cockamamie bulge is this? What is this company? Why is it not charged up? What is going on here? Like, y'all, it's giving ghetto. It's giving the ghetto gala, like Winter said on Love and Marriage DC. So then she had the event. So then they move on because the ladies were not impressed by the food, and they were also upset that there was no bartender and nobody serving them. So all the ladies are sitting around the damn countertop, child. Because I'm like, y'all got a whole table behind y'all. Why y'all sitting at this lady's counter? I'm like, she get her kitchen done and y'all just gonna use it to the fullest, huh? Uh-huh. So Katie asked Drew if she packed those bones for the trip to Jamaica, and Drew says yes, she did. I'm sorry, if she packed those bones on purpose in the trip that Marlo put together. And Drew says yes, she did, to express herself. And Sheree threw a rock and hit her hand. And so Sheree says, "Are you talking about me? Like, how did I get involved in this?" And Drew says, "Well, you brought Fatum to address me about some issues, and she's pretty much your lapdog to say whatever you don't want to say." And Sheree says, "Tomato, tomato, I'm throwing them at you because you are whack." I feel like Sheree was trying to use Mariah's phase of "I will not come off my chariot and throw tomatoes with you," but it wasn't given what it needed to give with "tomatoes, tomatoes, I'm throwing them at you because you're whack." Okay, Sheree. So then Drew talks about Fatum running her information, saying that's very creepy. Like, why would you do something like that? And why are you that mad where you feel the need to go that far to be looking into my information and whatnot? So Sheree says, she was like, well, girl, who am I talking to today? Am I talking to Danielle, Andrew, Tiffany? Who am I talking to right now? And Kenya says, Drew just loves to fight. And I don't necessarily disagree with that. I do think that Drew loves to fight. And Drew even says that, well, I'm from Chicago. I hate when people be like, well, I'm from so-and-so. That don't mean shit. You could be an ignorant ass person and be from Indiana or Idaho and Chicago too. Like, girl, bye. Like, why is everything such a huge issue? Like, she makes everything a mountain out of a molehill all the time. And I just don't think that she should have been addressing Sheree. I think she should have addressed Fatum. That's the person that she has the issue with. Why is it now Sheree's bag to hold? Sheree wasn't messing with her. So why are you talking crap to her? So then Drew proceeds to say, maybe you just don't remember because you're getting old, because I'm always just addressing issues. I'm not trying to start anything. I'm just addressing what happened. And Sheree says, you better hope you look as good as I do. Oh, old and cold at my age. I said, I know that's right, Sheree. So Marlo in her daggone confessional says, yeah, you know, Sheree looks good to be 60 years old. Why is everybody 60, Marlo? You said Kenya was 60, Marlo now Sheree 60, and that's supposed to be your girl. You don't know how old your friend is? That's crazy. And Marlo, how old is how old are you? Cause you about the one looking like you 60 with a daggone facelift and a wig on. Girl, bye. So then the producer says, no, she's actually 52. And then Marlo says, oh, Sheree gonna cuss me out. Yeah, I will cuss your ass out too. So Candy says, I would love. So then they all move over to sing happy birthday to Sheree and give her her cake. And Candy says, I would love for you to sing happy birthday to Sheree, Drew. And I'm like, Candy, girl, I love you, but why are we asking Drew to sing happy birthday to Sheree? They was just sitting over here arguing. Why is she your choice? That was just, and usually Candy ain't the type to be like meddling and being messy, but I didn't really understand that. But whatever. Drew ended up singing the song, and she actually sounded pretty good, if I do say so myself. I'm like, okay, all right, Drew, you got little pipes. So Sanya tells the ladies to sit on the couch to show the rules for Jamaica. She says, wear water-friendly hair, no standoffs, and no problems. Absolutely no props. So Drew, no doggy bones, okay? And then she says, no weed, no jail. Weed is not, it is not legal in Jamaica. So I'm so glad that she did these rules, because Chad got married in Jamaica and we thought that it was legal in Jamaica. Okay, so we might be going back for my 10-year anniversary. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that alone. Okay? Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone. So moving on. She says, so they're representing iFit, so they all need to basically go down there and don't show your ass and act right. Okay. So I'm excited for the Jamaica trip. I want to see how this goes along. And honestly, I need Marlo to talk about something else. I don't want to hear her talking about the boys anymore. I don't want to hear her embarrassing them anymore. I just don't want to hear her saying anything else about them, because I feel like right now you are just really overly doing it. Yeah, at this point it's a dull issue. Like, either get the boys back and utilize these parenting tactics that you've learned from this counselor, or just move on. Like, I can't with her. Let's go back to the comments before I get out of here. Jessica with a K says, Kayla is treated like an outsider in her own family. Todd's kids with Candy will always have more. I wish Candy would siphon off a fund just for Kayla. Yeah, I agree. And you know what? We never know. Maybe she is doing that, because Candy talked about it on Speak On It. She was like, she does try to give, when she'll try to give Kayla stuff, Todd is like, no, I want her to work for it. So I'm pretty sure Candy probably giving her money on the low and not telling Todd, because that would, if I was Kayla, it probably would make me not like my stepmother, because it's very visibly shown that you are doing more for your children that came out of your body than me. And you're claiming me as if I'm. Candy always says we have 4 kids. We have 4 kids. You know, she always claims Kayla. So I hope that she treats her just like she treats her other children, because that would be sad if she doesn't. Now, I get it if she can't exactly just go ahead and be shelling out the cash the way she does for Riley. And I think that sometimes she may need to put the brakes on some of the stuff that she does for Riley, so that Riley can learn to be responsible and take a page out of Todd's book for some things. But, you know, because she's going to have to learn now, because as the 2 kids that he helped her birth grow up, he's going to have more of a say-so on what happens with them. So, yeah, I would really be interested to see and know if Candy does help her out as much as, or if not, you know, more than not at all, right? So we'll see. But y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. Please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anybody else that watched this past episode as well. Please don't forget to visit the description. Get you a Healthy Expression t-shirt. It has some really quirky things on there and cool t-shirts. And we have go to healisticthings.com to heal yourself beyond the prescription pad. And I will see you in the next video. Peace out.